What if the gods we know weren't the first gods at all? Long before Zeus ruled the skies with thunder and lightning, long before Olympus stood tall in the heavens, there was a time when even the gods were afraid. A time when ancient forces older than memory walked the universe. These were not gods of light and order, but raw, untamed powers of nature, emotion, and chaos. These were the Titans. But here's the mystery most people don't talk about. Where did the Titans come from? The myths tell us they were the children of Uranus, the sky, and Gaia, the earth. But who were they really? And was there something that came even before them? In the beginning, there was only chaos. Not just disorder, but the gaping void of non-existence. From this void, slowly, beings began to form. First came Gaia, the earth herself, solid and unshakable. Then Uranus, the sky, her equal and opposite. But here's where things get strange. The ancient Orphic texts, which are often overlooked in popular retellings, suggest that even before Gaia and Uranus, there was Cronus. Not Cronus the Titan, but Cronus the embodiment of eternal time, and Ananke, the force of necessity and fate. Together, they coiled around the universe like serpents, compressing chaos until the world began to take shape. Some say it was Cronus and Ananke who birthed the very first egg, the cosmic egg, which split open to reveal the primordial gods, including Gaia and Uranus. So what if the Titans weren't just children of Gaia and Uranus, but descendants of a far more ancient line? A power so old, it terrified even Zeus himself. As Gaia and Uranus ruled, they gave birth to powerful beings. 12 mighty titans, including Oceanus, Hyperion, Rhea, and Cronus. But Uranus, fearful of their strength, hid many of his children deep within Gaia's body, imprisoning them in her womb. This act enraged Gaia, who plotted with her son Cronus to overthrow the sky god. Armed with a sickle forged of divine stone, Cronus ambushed his father, slicing the heavens open and casting Uranus down. From Uranus's blood fell the Furies and the Giants. And from his final breath, a dark prophecy was born. One day, Cronus too would fall by the hand of his own son. And thus began the age of the Titans. They ruled from Mount Othrys, in the shadow of Olympus, bringing a golden age of power, but also fear. Though they brought order to the world, their reign was heavy and strict. Cronus, fearing the prophecy, swallowed each of his children the moment they were born. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, trapping them in his belly. But when Zeus was born, Rhea, their mother, couldn't take it anymore. She tricked Cronus by hiding the baby and feeding him a rock wrapped in cloth. Zeus grew up in secret, raised by nymphs and divine goats, until he returned to challenge his father, and thus began the great Titanomachy, the war between the Titans and the Olympians. But here's where the real mystery begins again. Some ancient Greek philosophers believed the Titans weren't just gods. They were metaphysical forces of existence, tied to the foundations of reality itself. Oceanus wasn't just a sea god, he was the very concept of the encircling river that surrounds the earth. Hyperion wasn't just the god of the sun, he was the embodiment of cosmic light and vision. These weren't just deities. They were ancient building blocks of the universe. Some even say that when the Olympians defeated the Titans and cast them into Tartarus, they weren't imprisoning beings, but locking away dangerous knowledge, truths about the universe too powerful for mortals or even gods to handle. What if the Titans were more than characters in myth? What if they were part of a lost understanding of creation? Something wiped out by the Olympians in their quest for dominance. There are whispers in ancient texts that certain cults in Greece continued to worship the Titans in secret, believing them to be the original and true gods. Gods who would one day return. Even the name Titan may hold secrets. Some scholars link it to the Greek word titein, meaning to stretch, suggesting they were beings who stretched the boundaries of heaven and earth. Others connect it to teieno, meaning to strain, possibly referencing the unbearable force of their power, a divine pressure that mortals could never hope to survive. So when we talk about the origin of the Titans, we're not just talking about the start of a story. We're talking about a cosmic war between forgotten truths and modern gods. We're talking about a time before time, when the universe was young and wild and full of unspeakable energy. And maybe, just maybe, those energies haven't disappeared. They've just been sleeping. And now, it's your turn. If you've ever felt drawn to the stars, to the deep sea, or to the quiet voice of ancient trees, maybe that's a whisper from the Titans. Maybe their story isn't over. Do you believe they'll return? Or were the Olympians right to lock them away forever? Let me know in the comments. Do you feel the Titans were misunderstood or truly dangerous?